Hello guys, this is your love reading, your weekly love reading. It's Tuesday, but you know I gotta work the next 3 days, so we're gonna do it today, and you will be watching this on YouTube. And let's see what's coming out for the lovers. For the lovers. Our weekly soulmate twin flame love reading, as I like to call them. And we'll see what's coming out for each. We're going to pull from the Chrysalis Tarot. I just noticed a coffee stain on my sweatshirt. The Chrysalis Tarot, Chrysalis, I don't know. You know, I struggle with pronunciation sometimes. And then a little Earth Magic and a little Sacred Destiny Oracle. Both being of like the Earth, kind of Earth vibes. I don't know why. I just grabbed those. But I felt intuitively guided to those decks, I will say. Okay. Feminine, masculine, and joint energy we're going to do, of course. I would say that the energy is a little rough. And like it's the Seven of Scrolls on the bottom of the deck. The Seven of Swords. That's the second time that's come out this week in my readings. So that is a theme for sure, and it keeps coming out for me personally, just when I pull cards. I really like the Seven of Scrolls, though, I have to say. I mean, first of all, there's 2 doors. He's facing one door, though, specifically. He's a little bit afraid to go in. He's given it a lot of thought. It looks like he's done research. But he is still hiding something. And I just don't have to be talking about the masculine energy here. I don't know, but I would say that the Seven of Swords is coming up for the masculine energy. The Seven of Scrolls, that he is hiding something, or there is some deception. But analyzing this picture more, because what I like is when I'm getting a card all week, but then I see it in a different way here. It's like it's allowing us maybe to see a little deeper into this Seven of Swords, the Seven of Scrolls, and not just perceive it as a straight deception or hiding or lie or whatever, but like it feels more like when I look at this picture, like someone is hiding the fact that they are in heavy contemplation about something, that they've really researched something, or like there's a lot that they have a lot more awareness than they're letting on, or something like that, just because of all his scrolls. And he's right behind the door, but he won't walk through. He's afraid to open it. He's afraid to walk through and open that door for some reason. He doesn't trust. It's like he doesn't trust what's on the other side. Totally. So yeah, that Seven of Swords, I don't know why there's a feeling of needing to hide something right now. And what I was going to say before I saw him is that I do feel that in the love sphere, as I was sharing that heartbreak, I guess, yes, that did come out, that I feel like there's been a bit of a rough patch that has been hit. I'd still get this like energy though, like promises of reconciliation, of celebrations, and that could be coming later this year. Perhaps this rough patch is in the Tree of Life. I forget that these cards have that image on it. The rough patch is necessary to get to those points. Perhaps clearing energy, feminine, masculine, joint. Purification. Remember that too. It's rain, purification, water. The light ring is annoying me. Crying. But again, it's a water. It's the yin rabbit year. I feel like the water's been coming out a lot. I feel like connected to the Lunar New Year, the rabbit, and there's a lot of then water energy highlighting this next 12 months. Okay, we're getting there. Again, success was on the bottom of the deck. Celebration was on the bottom of the other deck. So there is still like this promise, but it seems like some lessons are being learned right now. So I wanted to share a thought in terms of like actual twin flame energy, if you will. Now, some of you may feel that you're dealing with that, actually dealing with that or not. It doesn't really matter. either way, because what I feel is that the love messages will apply to what you're dealing with, because I feel like, and I feel like saying the twins, thriving, the twins, actual twins, whatever, it doesn't matter. Again, and I say that truthfully, like it doesn't keep you from listening to this message and applying it to whatever connection is on your mind as you listen to this message, because the twins, the twins, it's sort of like this idea that like whatever's going on with the twins highlights, or it's like a macro of the micro. It's a reflection of what's going on in the collective in some sense. It's just a reflection. It doesn't mean to say that the twins are leaders, or that, and it's not like that per se. It's just that the twins mirror the collective love sphere. So these love readings, I do call it, hey, mama, no. I do call them soulmate twin flame love readings, because I do identify with that myself. But it doesn't mean that you have to apply that to listen. And I know there are a lot of you out there who, not a lot of you out there, as I always say, I don't really have a huge audience, but that watch these readings or have and connected them to a particular person that you might consider your twin flame, but you are in relationships with other people now too, or whatever. I also know there are people watching that are in relationships with their twin flame. So, like I talk like a robot, their twin flame. So, you know, it goes, it's all shades of gray. There's lots of shades of gray, 50 shades of gray in the twin flame soulmate love world. But what it's all about is about healing the heart space, ultimately, as we know. And, well, a lot of other things, but ultimately healing the heart space and the ripple effects that will have. So I don't know why I started that. Oh, I was going to say that the twins, like twin energy, and I think it could speak to just love in general, of course, that are masculine and feminine dynamics, that, excuse you, she's being so bad, that the twins, sometimes they're very sure. I just don't want her to cause a disaster here. Which, then again, this could apply to anything, really. If you think about it, oh my God, see, she pulled it. It's like Mission Impossible over here. I really enjoyed the Mission Impossible preview, guys, I have to say. Have you guys seen this preview where Tom does this stunt? I like it. I kind of liked it. Anyway. The twins, okay, I'm sorry, I'll orient myself. There are times when they are very sure of each other and sure of this energy. And there are times when there's a lot of interference and when they're not sure. I mean, basically, then there's times when it's almost like a repellent. It's almost like wanting to push away. There's breakaway periods, and the breakaway periods are necessary for growth. And it's like a rubber band effect. It's always this test of like, if something breaks away and stays away, then it's meant to stay away, right? If something breaks away to heal and then comes back again, that's another story. I just said that's a horse of a different color, right? That's a horse of a different color. So I think that we may be in a little bit of a death phase here, a repellent phase, where the twins are wanting to push each other away potentially, or like there just comes phases of, I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. I would say that it's when you want to look elsewhere, or, you know, in a sense, or when, but it's like wanting to push the other away, and it's really just a period of doubting. It's a period of doubt in terms of what that might actually mean. And that's why I would say too that that's what has to happen for these cycles of doubt that come about. The cycles of doubt that come about is you surrender and you let go. And if something is meant to come back again in another cycle, it will. And if it's not, it won't fully, you know. But I feel like there's a period of doubt. I feel like there's a little bit of doubt, which is just, I think, quite typical anyway. So feminine, the Four of Pentacles. There's a fear of lack. a fear of like that treasure not being what you think it is, a fear of that box being empty, you know. And it's also this energy of the feminine too much wanting to cling and box up what she has, and, you know, being afraid of losing it. And that's never a good energy for the feminine to be in. The reason the feminines have Four of Stones energy is because, oh, there's lots of reasons, I'm sure, but one reason that feminines really have this Four of Pentacles energy is that they've lost a lot. So they fear losing things because they have lost a lot. So it's like sometimes if that's what you know is losing things, over time you tend to cling. But what Spirit is asking you is they're actually saying, look, if you've lost a lot, but you realize you still have enough and you're sustained and you're at peace and all that, like, you understand that that's the lesson. You're not supposed to fear losing things anymore because you've lost a lot and you're okay. Rather, so that's the mindset, the ascended, you know, mindset we should take on. The healed heart is like realizing I lose things, but that's okay. So it's not about being afraid of losing something. And just because you feel like you've lost everything, it's counterintuitive, but that should be, that's kind of your saving grace, not your, not something to continue to fear. Because, well, yes, you have lost things and you worry about that repeating. And I'm trying to repeat myself to make myself clear, but I think I have. The point is that you know that when you lose things, you thrive. You're okay anyway. So it's, again, healing this just deep fear of abandonment, fear of loss, fear of lack. And it's in the heart chakra. And I think, too, in that sense, the feminine here, she walls herself off. She's been boxing herself off. I feel like not so much as a means to control, maybe getting hurt, but it feels more like anger in a way too. It's just like withholding. You know, the feminine part of her power can be withholding, but there's a danger that she would withhold too much because she needs to be giving. But we can see why the feminine would withhold, because she has given too much and it's not given back. So the feminine might be in that energy a little bit stuck of like withholding because she's angry about not getting back. Rebirth though, and look at that. That's a fucking rabbit, you guys. You cannot make it up. I'm just telling you, you can't make it. The spring equinox, that also specifically makes me feel like this bit of cycle here, this little bit of a challenging patch, rough patch we're in here, could be till the spring equinox, if you will. I feel like, I know I'm not the groundhog, so I don't know, but I feel like spring is going to come early this year, but I could be totally wrong, so who knows. Maybe it's just the whole rabbit thing that's giving off that vibe. But the spring equinox says rebirth. So I feel like around springtime, when things start to bloom and blossom again and are green, because the heart is green perhaps, the feminine is going to be opening up more. Perhaps, again, healing past some of this fear in the heart space. And there's a rebirth. I just heard, too, something really unexpected. Something really unexpected. I don't know. I don't believe that. I don't know. A rebirth, though, in the spring. The feminine is kind of rebirthing. You know what I mean? She's kind of, she's changing. But it feels like, that feels like a new feminine energy coming about this year. Oh, security. Interesting. You see, that highlights this further. Too, that the feminines out there, myself included, as you know, like shifting homes again too. That could be the Four of Stones energy. The fear of lack is wanting a stronger foundation, wanting to feel more secure, wanting more security. And it's one thing I know right away. It's important for a feminine out there to remember is that you're always protected. You're always protected. But sometimes we also do want physical security. We want a strong foundation to operate from, and we know we can trust. So there's something about that. What I feel with it ultimately, to tie it up with a bow here is that, oh, look, and these have butterflies. I didn't think about it. These have butterflies. Oh, I just saw what that was. Oh, no. I saw what the joint energy was. I'll try to forget it so it doesn't affect my channel, but or maybe I was meant to see it. But basically, I feel like around springtime, that the feminine energy here and throughout this year of the rabbit, that part of her focus is a stronger foundation, more security, more foundation, and really trying to get over this fear of loss and fear of losing things, and realizing she can really build, that she can build things, and that there's a new beginnings coming, things that she can't see or doesn't expect. She can't plan everything. You know, this is also a card of control. And it's like, you can't control things. I feel like the feminine has to surrender to her own, like, divine protection and trust step by step, day by day, where she's going. And I honestly feel as early as spring that the feminine energies are going to feel like they're being reborn a bit, a stronger security or foundation. So anytime you have more security or foundation, what that's fighting to ultimately is fear. And anytime you're operating from fear, where fear is muddying your waters, it's gonna interfere with your manifestations. It's gonna interfere with your day-to-day. It's gonna interfere with your good vibes. Fear is toxic. It will taint things. And when your foundation isn't secure, you tend to operate from a place of fear. So I think that there's like some screws loose, and I feel like tightening up this foundation in a way is going to allow the feminine, like I said, to emerge sooner than later this year, feeling a bit stronger and more secure within herself, ultimately. So that's not super like lovey-dovey, dreamy vibes with the feminine, but that's what she's working on. Her foundation is really important moving forward, because the feminine is really important moving forward. No offense to anyone else. The wheel's out for the masculine here. The feminine's really important moving forward. Like I was saying, no offense to anyone else, but for those of you that hold the seed of the divine feminine awakening, I truly feel, well, I feel lots of things. I get all kinds of channels and thoughts about it, but I only share what, I was going to share this too, but it seems like a lot right now. And I shared it, I think, in my post about the devil and stuff, but I feel like that the recalibrating, the rebalancing of the scales is like, it's turning the dark is being replaced by the light of the divine feminine, if that makes sense. So the darkness, we live in this yin-yang world, we've only really brought conscious awareness to the light. So because of that, that other half, that dark half, has been ruled by the unconscious, by the dark, by the devil energy, if you will, things like that. And what's happening is we're bringing conscious awareness to the dark, meaning the yin, bringing light to the yin. It means that the awakened divine feminine consciousness is what will replace the dark ultimately. And that's that holistic, I feel like, when both sides, yin and yang, are awakened, right? So like the divine feminine is important because she carries that seed that's really important in this lifetime. She carries the seed of the awakening divine feminine consciousness, which is really, in my opinion, the source is God's source, and it's recalibrating the scales. So she's important and her foundation is important. But moving on with the wheel of fortune, for the masculine here is time. There's a lot of energy surrounding time with the masculine. I feel like there's regrets about time, worrying about wasting time, a lot of stuff with time. So a little bit of a fear of lack here with time with the masculine. He's worried about losing time. And the thing I want to say, because I was getting some downloads about the wheel specifically, that the wheel is... but see, that is like when you try to come say, like, what? The wheel is, we know the wheel is destiny unfolding. The wheel holds your destiny. And when we say that, it sounds kind of like dreamy, like, oh my God, the wheel, that's destiny, it's magic. And that's kind of true too, but it's really not as magical as, again, it's like this mechanized universe. We're in a mechanized universe and fed by angelic light. But the wheel literally... So the wheel of time, which is also your codes, your story, what you've like agreed to as part of your like agreement with the etheric realm as you like walk about and engage, you know, that wheel, it's unfolding. It's a mandala of light that holds your codes, that holds your story, your records. It's part of your predestination in a sense. So the wheel is about your predestination. And that's why in the sense it holds your destiny. And when the wheel... So it's like things you've agreed to, they're waiting for you. The wheel unravels them when it's time. And so again, last week is like the perfect timing. So the wheel, it only can operate like, so if you set codes, not codes, I'm trying to think, if you set like a software program, or you set it up and it does these certain things at these certain times, and it really doesn't break too much from that. Now, I do think there's flexibility with all of this, of course, but when I was seeing the wheel in terms of it revealing our destiny and basically our life story, it's preset. So it's like, it's kind of set. Like again, the software, it was set up ahead of time, and it can only do what it's meant to do. So that's why too, sometimes when we kind of pray to God and we're like, please help me, like, please, they're like, we can't, but we're here for you, because they're like, it's set. It's already set. We can't change it. Your guides, angels are like, we can't change the wheel. We can only help you through what happens as your destiny unfolds, if that makes sense. So all of that long-winded, blah, blah, blah. There's something about that, though, with contracts we can't fight. There's something, we make a deal with Father Time, and we make a deal with the wheel. We make a deal with the wheel. We make lots of deals with the wheel, and the wheel unfolds our destiny when it's meant to at certain times. So that's why there's no rushing. It's like, if you set the date, you set the date. It's like, hello, we can't do it before then. So there's something about the wheel, and I was saying the masculine with time. So maybe he's understanding some aspect of all of that. Veiled. Yes, there's a fog. There's a fog over the twins. There is a fog over the twins is what I wanted to say. Because I'm just like, the twins, right? I don't know why I think that's so funny. I just do. But I feel this fog, man. I really do. It feels foggy. And like I said, there's periods when oh, look at this too. In front of the wheel, there's a smoke. There's periods of clarity and really understanding, and there's periods of doubt. And so the masculine here is veiled. He's a little foggy. He's doubting. And then I feel like too, it's like time. I feel like, I don't know, what time? What's going you're like, where am I? I just caught a vision of like when you wake up and you're like, you don't know where you are. You know what I mean? Like when you move, so I'm having to be soon, when you move or when you drink or when you're on vacation or you've traveled or you're spending the night somewhere or someone's spending that with you, or who knows, right? Like, but I just caught a vision of like waking up and like not knowing where you are and being like a weird time warp for the masculine. He's being a little bit fucked with time, and time, I don't know, I'm going to stop talking about that, I guess, but time is an illusion. But I just feel as I keep I feel like I'm on a wheel talking about this and talking about time and being confused. So something is veiled. And I said the other day, this week is about things unseen. But for this masculine energy here, there are blessings, apparently. There are blessings that he's not seeing. Veiled blessings for the masculine. Veiled blessings. And the wheel turning. Sometimes we don't realize something is a blessing in disguise. There's veiled blessings. It might just be too not really trusting that something is a blessing. But it's a fogginess and a lack of ability to, I feel like, really see blessings right now. But the reason that happens too is it's not for nothing. It's not like an accident. What are you doing up there? It's so that you uncover your blessings, so that you realize, you come around again and you realize that this is a blessing or it's not, you decide. But there's a lack of clarity right now for sure on the part of the masculine. I feel anxiety and worry here on the part of the feminine, especially just relating to this potential security. And I feel like fogginess and doubt for masculine energy. But now for the joint energy, I know what this card is. I did kind of forget about it, but I didn't forget now. And there is, I think, underneath all joint, a deep joint emotional connection. Mirrors. Mirroring each other. There's a mirror. Your divine mirror. The Ace of Mirrors is the Ace of Cups. You know, my cup runneth over. And sometimes when the cup runneth over, I was going to say, it's not that funny too. Now I'm like laughing at my own jokes. So I was going to say, when the cup runneth over, the masculine run away. Like, oh, bye. Oh, is that right? My cup's running over. I'm out. But like I said yesterday, I don't know what day, but it's like, it's coming to this point, and this reminds me of the wheel too, where this is a point in the cycle where we might go back to an old habit, but this year, this time it's hard. It's hard because it's almost like the blessings are hard to forget right now, you know? In times past, they're easier to forget. There's something here that's a joint emotional, like, feeling. And it's a lot. I think it's a lot. I think people don't realize sometimes how afraid they are to experience powerful emotions. And it's not that love should be painful or anything like that, but it's just that it's overwhelming. It can be overwhelming, you know? Deep emotional connections are just overwhelming. Honestly, and in that sense, to feel like a deep spiritual connection or an etheric connection that seems like it goes beyond this life, it's almost like it's too hard to like make it real. It's like you almost can't box it. Like you can't, that's come up multiple times today. Boxing shit has come up. You can't like make it real because it's so like magical and not real. It's not of this world. It's a connection, it's a love in a sense that's not of this world. And that's why it doesn't make sense in this world, but that's why it needs to come together in this world to change this world, to show this world that this is real, and it sends out ripple effects. I just saw it sends out ripple effects through the mirrors. So say so. Never mind. I was going to say have sex in front of a mirror, but don't, because I wouldn't want to do that. To send out your love waves. No, but you got that. There's a deep connection here for sure. What else? Unfoldment, the lotus flower. I'm dead. Stop. Oh my God. It matches. Oh my God. Oh my God. How beautiful is that? I'm sure you guys get annoyed with me, but I can't help it. I get so excited. The lotus flower is unfolding. If that is not, I was going to say, if that is not unbeautiful, if that is not beautiful, the Ace of Mirrors and the lotus flower, unfoldment, really, oh, really, Spirit. Well, what is this got? Community, beautiful with the rainbows, more butterflies. So what I feel like too a little bit is both these people, both these energies lack a sense of community wherever they are, or whatever they're doing. You know, the path of the, whatever, awakened people, whatever, the paths are lonely. You know, when you're like a little bit heightened or different sometimes, I don't know, it's just hard for you to find your community, you know? And so both, I feel like both the energies here of the masculine and feminine are a little bit negative, like I was feeling at the start of the reading, just like unsure, a period of doubt. But here in the joint energy, there's this like beautiful, like coming, this beautiful, like shared mutual emotion, feeling, depth of feeling. This unfoldment is happening. This beautiful lotus flower is like blossoming. And there's this desire for like community, and the rainbow is like a blessing. The community today almost even feels like a 10 of cups, 3 of cups, but really positive emotional type energy. And the butterflies are like transformation, that there's change. So like your community's changed, you know, that maybe, I just feel like what these energies feel like is they find a place together. They find community together somehow, you know. It's really coming back like home in that sense, but it just feels to me a little bit like both these energies are a bit lonely in their life, lonely for each other, lonely for this, like I was saying, that type of depth of connection that is so rare, you know. And I feel like too with this, that there's communities, you know, as this unfoldment happens for out there, as certain connections come together, that beautiful, in that sense, beautiful communities will be created, or like that there's this, again, this ripple effect of like how it affects other people. It's like a blessing. You know, rainbows are blessings. And I was going to say too that, well, maybe I've just already said this, but for the masculine here, it's just like he can't see it right now. He's struggling to see it right now. It's veiled, but it's like he knows that there's blessings too. So he knows that there's more to be revealed. More to be revealed. The unfinished symphony. The unfinished symphony is happening. And it's a little bit, you know, it can be a little bit uncomfortable, the unfinished symphony, because you don't know. You don't know where it goes. You don't know where it's going to go. But the looks of this, it's going somewhere beautiful. The lotus flower is unfolding. So that's all for today. That is your love reading. It's pretty beautiful, especially at least in the joint energy. But there's healing happening. There's always healing happening. That's for sure. All right, that's all for today. Love you all.